is one more thing about Lulu Hypermarket is that we have to understand that what is it, like why they are so running well in Middle East, but not here. Like what is the reason? There is a common factor there. We all need to understand that in all these Arab countries, GCC countries, and the main thing about Lulu is that there is a huge number of immigrants are there. If you compare specifically to UAE and Qatar, there is a very high population of immigrants, above 80%, or I think around 87%, which is very high, compared to many other countries, many other even in the GCC also, But there is at least 40% immigrants in each and every GCC country. But if you compare with Malaysia, the figure are very opposite. Is 92% are basically uh, locals, and the remaining 8% are foreigners. So that's it, totally opposite compared to GCC. And the population majority, we all know that, are Indian, Pakistani, and Bangladeshi, Nepali, Afghani people, right? So there for so Lulu being successful in GCC countries or in Arab countries is not something shocking. Obviously, it's not something wouldn't work because they are selling this obviously Saudi UAE product obviously so they're gonna run very well But in Malaysia the main problem obviously what people have told me is that the pricing obviously is far more competitive, far more, I would say, higher than other. But I don't know on which basis they are claiming this because I have been to Eon and Eon is really expensive. You really cannot rely much on that. Yeah, if you do go NSK, but we all like this is, you can only know when you go to a better place, right? Also the main thing if you talk about Lulu, right, they are importing products from Pakistan, India, right? So I think that is one of the main factors, right? Because they are the reason it's being very successful, the population is living there which is buying it obviously. So the problem, if you now compare with Malaysia, right, where the problem comes Malaysia, right, which I was talking about, that people talk about price obviously. I don't think a price is an issue when they are importing Saudi products, UAE product, because when we go Lulu, I have seen myself that a lot of products are imported, so Malaysian are not gonna buy these products definitely. And if you see Malaysia cost of living, grocery, your the exchange rate, Malaysia cost of living is far lower than Saudi Arabia, UAE, even two to three times lower than Saudi Arabia and UAE. So the why the Malaysian would buy, when they can get a cheaper product, right? So and what they have here, what they're offering, like who they are targeting, So there is I think 70 to 8% Indian population, but they're local Indians, they're not like it's a bit different, I would say, people who are living in Pakistan, India, So there is a very small margin, I would say, the 5 to 10% foreigners, right? So they're only targeting that, right? So I think that's one of the reason I think they're not being very successful, and the rates, if you compare with small stores, Pakistan, Indian, it is definitely a bit higher. But overall, Lulu is, I would say that is still okay. The price itself is not very expensive, right? Three things, like obviously the cost of living, grocery cost of living in Malaysia, right? Obviously, I talk about the if you see the immigrants. The ratio I talk about is different, and the products they are selling, right? So they are, if you see, they are selling Indian products and Pakistani. There's not much population, so how they will gonna attract, right? That I think is the problem. They cannot attract Malaysian. We all know that. I think that's the biggest problem, and but that is like one of the like problem. But the problem, the mistake they have done, I mentioned the locations, all majority of the places, right? And experimenting, like they love experimenting. So much money, right? You want to keep experimenting. I don't know. That's the end of this video. For the next video, you might be covering maybe other topics or maybe continuing the topic of Lulu. So let's see how it goes. Till then, bye bye.